was the idea that the Ark of the Covenant exists in Ethiopia.
That's what brought me into this field.
The Ark of the Covenant, the vessel that carried the fire of God, vanished into the mists of time. But prophecy never declared it lost. In the narrow alleys of Jerusalem's old city, whispers among the rabbis speak of a secret chamber sealed by divine command. Beneath the mountain of God, they say, rests the Ark, untouched for over 2 millennia, guarded by light no human eyes can bear. Those who have seen its signs speak of tunnels, sealed stones, and a presence that makes the air tremble. Ancient prophecies warn that when the Ark is revealed, a new age will begin, and the nations will shake. Is it only legend? Or could the holiest relic in human history still wait beneath Jerusalem, preserved for a moment chosen by heaven itself? The search for truth begins where silence has kept its secrets.
Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more awe-inspiring stories of faith, survival, and miracles.
Long before Jerusalem's stones were laid, a man stood trembling before a burning bush. Moses, chosen to lead, commanded to build, received more than law on Mount Sinai. He received a design from heaven itself. The ark was no human invention. It was a covenant carved in gold. Acacia wood, pure gold overlay, and 2 cherubim whose wings met above the mercy seat, forming a throne for the invisible God. Inside it lay the tablets of the 10 Commandments, the staff of Aaron, and a jar of manna, the evidence of divine provision and promise. When the ark moved, Israel followed. When it rested, fire hovered above it. It was more than a relic. It was the pulse of God's presence on earth. But that presence would one day vanish, not destroyed, not forgotten, only hidden for a time foretold. The ark's glory filled Solomon's temple like living fire. Priests trembled as smoke rose from the altar, and the people of Israel knew God was among them. But peace never lasts long in the pages of prophecy. In 583 BC, Babylon's armies descended on Jerusalem like a storm of iron and flame. The temple was ransacked, its gold plundered, its walls crushed to dust. Yet when the conquerors entered the Holy of Holies, something was missing. The Ark, the very throne of God, was gone. No record of its capture, no mention of its destruction, only silence. Ancient writings tell of the prophet Jeremiah, warned by heaven, who took the ark and hid it in a secret chamber before the invasion. He sealed it with prayer, declaring that it would remain hidden until God gathers his people again. And so the trail vanished into eternity.
Beneath Jerusalem's bustling streets lies another city, one carved from shadow and stone. A labyrinth of tunnels winds under the Temple Mount, untouched by sunlight for centuries. Some were carved by kings, others by priests fleeing war. Ancient rabbis spoke of secret chambers where the holiest treasures were hidden, deep within the bedrock, sealed by divine order. Archaeologists call this network a mystery. Cisterns, passageways, vaults that appear on no official map. One chamber, known in legend as the Well of Souls, sits directly beneath the foundation stone, the point where heaven and earth were said to meet. Could this be the Ark's resting place? Those who have entered speak of strange energy, of silence that hums like breath. And if the Ark truly lies within those forbidden walls, then every step taken beneath Jerusalem may be closer to God's throne than anyone dares imagine. In 1981, deep beneath the Old City, Rabbi Yehuda Getz, chief rabbi of the Western Wall, claimed to have found it. During excavations near the Temple Mount, workers uncovered a narrow stone corridor sealed for centuries. Following ancient records, Rabbi Getz descended with Torah in hand, believing he had reached the tunnel leading to the Holy of Holies. What he saw convinced him the Ark was near. But before he could continue, word spread. Dozens of guards and protesters flooded the site. The Israeli government, fearing unrest, ordered the tunnel sealed overnight with thick concrete. No photos, no records. Only Rabbi Getz's trembling testimony. We were close, too close. Since then, no one has been allowed to dig under the mount again. The passage still exists, locked, forbidden, holding a silence heavier than stone. And many believe, behind that wall, rests the Ark itself. For centuries, Jerusalem's mystics have whispered that the Ark was never merely wood and gold. It was light condensed into matter. The Zohar calls it the heart of creation, a vessel where heaven's radiance meets the dust of earth.
Some rabbis teach that when the Ark was hidden, its spirit withdrew upward, guarded in a realm of fire and angels until the appointed hour. They say that light still pulses beneath the Temple Mount, unseen yet alive, a current of mercy waiting to burst forth. Every tremor in the city, every rumor of discovery, they claim, is that light stirring again. And when it breaks the surface, prophecy warns, the veil between worlds will thin. Is the Ark's hiding place not only under stone, but between dimensions themselves, where the physical and divine touch for one final revelation? In 1948, Israel was reborn from the dust of exile. For many, that moment signaled the first tremor of ancient prophecy. Then, in 1967, when Jerusalem was reunited, rabbis across the world repeated the same words: "The time is drawing near." Since then, the Temple Institute has quietly rebuilt every vessel of worship. Golden menorahs, silver trumpets, the priestly garments, all waiting for one missing piece: the Ark. Behind closed doors, scholars and priests study blueprints of Solomon's temple, preparing the sacred site for a new beginning. Every discovery beneath the mount, every rumor of hidden vaults feeds the same question: will the Ark's return mark the moment of divine restoration? Because once it is revealed, they believe, the covenant will not just belong to history, it will ignite again, and the world will know that the ancient promise of God still breathes beneath Jerusalem. For Christians, the Ark of the Covenant is more than a relic. It's a shadow of a greater truth. The mercy seat, once sprinkled with blood, pointed to another sacrifice, one made on a hill outside Jerusalem. In the body of Jesus, heaven and earth met again. He became the true Ark, the dwelling place of God among men. The Apostle Paul would later write that believers themselves are now the temple, carrying that same presence within. Yet, prophecy still speaks of a future temple, and the book of Revelation describes the Ark appearing in heaven when the final trumpet sounds. To many, this vision is not symbolic. It's a warning. Because if the earthly Ark reappears, it may mark the moment when divine judgment and redemption converge, the sign that the story of the covenant is ready to complete the circle it began thousands of years ago. Few places on earth carry more tension than the Temple Mount. For Jews, it is the holiest ground, the site of Solomon's temple. For Muslims, it is home to the Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa Mosque. Any attempt to dig beneath its foundations could ignite global outrage. That's why archaeologists are forbidden to excavate there, and why every rumor of discovery sparks fear among nations. Israeli officials know that one wrong move could set the Middle East aflame. Yet under the surface, instruments have detected hollow spaces, chambers that match the ancient measurements of the temple. If the ark truly rests there, revealing it could unite some and divide others. The question isn't just where the ark is, but when it will be unveiled. Because when that moment comes, no wall, law, or army will be able to contain what follows. Across the world, the faithful still wait, some in prayer, others in secrecy, watching Jerusalem's horizon for a sign. Beneath its streets, the Ark of the Covenant may still rest, untouched, guarded by time itself. If it is ever revealed, prophecy says the world will tremble, kings will rise, faith will divide, and the heavens will answer with light and thunder. But perhaps the ark's true unveiling won't be made by hands at all. Perhaps it waits for a moment of divine choosing, when the veil between heaven and earth is lifted once more. Until then, the stones of Jerusalem keep their silence, the tunnels remain sealed, and the world above moves closer, step by step, to the threshold of revelation. When that seal finally breaks, will it bring glory or judgment? The story of the ark is not finished. It's only hidden.